everybody. Welcome back to another session of Never Beat with Jeff and Rachel.
Yay!
Yay! Today we are going to be talking about a game that I always loved as a kid, that I rented multiple times and never even came remotely close to beating. And I'm going to screw up the name of this because it's Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, Little Nemo Dream Master. I think it's that one.
Dream Master. Mm-hmm.
It's based off the Little Nemo comics from like the 1920s. And then there was a movie called Little Nemo, I think, Adventures in Slumberland in the 80s, which I saw in the theater. And then they made the game based off the movie, based off the comic. Although there was very little throwing candy at animals in the movie.
Oh, man, I was going to watch it, but now just never mind. That was my favorite part of the game.
So yes, Little Nemo for the NES. It's interesting playing a game where, except for the last level, there are 8 worlds in this game, 8 levels, but the 8th level is actually like 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the 8th level, you generally don't have attack abilities.
Yeah, just candy throwing.
You don't have a way to defend yourself against most of the enemies. The main mechanic of Little Nemo is you have candies that you throw. If you hit an enemy with a candy, it briefly stuns them. But there are friendly animals throughout the game, and if you feed them 3 candies...
Well, I would say friendly in quotes, because if you don't feed them 3 candies, they still hurt you.
Yeah, but they don't try to hurt you.
Yeah, that's fair. They're not aggressive.
Coming for you. They're just highly toxic to the touch.
Yeah.
Like some people I know. Maybe that joke won't make it. So yes, if you throw 3 candies at the semi-friendly animals, they fall asleep, and then you can touch them and become them.
Yeah, you skin them alive and gain all their abilities.
Except for the mouse and the lizard, where you turn super tiny and just ride them.
Which is very odd that you have to change size.
Yeah, the mouse, you turn super tiny and get a mallet.
Yeah, obviously.
All of the animals have different abilities. Some of them have attack abilities, but not all of them. I'd say maybe half and half.
Yeah, I mean, it is very surprising how varied the abilities are and how many options you have for an NES game. It's surprising when you're like, oh, I'm going to be a mole and now I can dig and I can't jump. What the heck is this?
Or I'm a lizard and I can climb on walls, but I can't hurt anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of options. Very surprising.
Well, and that it's a good game. First of all, let's just say it's a good game.
It is a very good game.
It is not an easy game.
Definitely not an easy game. I was first level, didn't prepare, didn't read anything, didn't know what buttons did. Died probably about 15 times, and I was like, oh no, this is only the first level. It's not great.
I can get to the second level before I can't get any further. The first level doesn't give me a lot of problems anymore, mainly because I played it so much as a kid. But it's the dandelion fluff in the second level.
Oh, you mean the skulls?
Yeah. Because
there are a surprising number of bones in this game.
Don't your dreams have a lot of bones?
No, I'm normal.
Deadly dandelion fluff?
Definitely not.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's as far as I can get in this game, and it's as far as I could get as a kid, is in the second level, and we're jumping ahead a little bit, but in the second level, you climb up a tree as a gorilla, and dandelion fluff, it hovers in the top of the screen, it floats back and forth, and then when it's close enough to you, it kind of hones in and drops straight on you. Mm-hmm. While you're trying to climb a tree. And this is not one of those like switch sides or anything. You're climbing straight up a tree. You don't have a lot of options for how to get out of the way of this fluff. I still don't know how to beat that without save and restore states.
Yeah, it's meant to just kill you and make you rage quit.
The only reason I was able to get through this game was because of aggressive use of save and restore states. Mm-hmm. So each level, until the 8th level, when it becomes a different game, essentially, each level has keys scattered throughout the level, and your job is to find all of the hidden keys and then get to the end of the level where you will unlock the door. Different number of keys for different levels. There's one level where you're riding a moving train, so it's a auto-scrolling level where they're very nice about the keys. Like, here's a couple at the start, and if you miss all of the keys while the train is moving, that's fine, because they throw a whole bunch of them at you at the end anyway.
Yeah, it was nice that it wasn't like sneaky with those keys. Because I think I would have quit right there. If it was like, oh, you missed the one key you needed because you didn't jump over the spikes in the wall that are coming down at you.
No, that one's like, although there are other levels where keys are in hidden areas, and it's like, I didn't think to go all the way to the end of this dead-end corridor, which would magically teleport me to a little secret room that would have keys.
Yeah, it's very challenging without a walkthrough for your sanity and save states.
Yeah, save and restore states I used. I did not use a walkthrough, though. I just went through it.
Definitely did. No shame.
No, however you get through it is perfectly fine in this review.
I at least did it. And I do want to say it was really refreshing to have a forest level as level 1.
Yes. And it wasn't a
and it wasn't
maze.
a maze.
The first animal you get to become is the frog, who can jump and belly bash things, but walking is ridiculous. It's so slow.
It's very slow.
We've talked about the lizard and the mouse, and the gorilla can climb things and punch things. The hermit crab can dig around in the dirt.
Yeah, like sand only, though.
Which is what the mole can do.
There's a bee, so you can fly and shoot your stinger at stuff.
But if you touch water as the bee, you die.
Because we all know that bees are allergic to water.
Yes, famously. Whenever it rains, that's why you find just bee corpses everywhere.
Yeah.
It's so tragic. There's a boxing fish. There's like one boxing fish in the game.
I forgot about the fish.
Yeah, he doesn't really do anything. I don't know what his function is.
No, they do make it pretty easy to tell which ones you can throw candy at and become, though.
Yeah, the coloring is just, they stand out. They very effectively stand out from the rest of the enemies, which is impressive to do on an NES because you have a limited color palette.
Yeah, it's very vibrant.
It's a very pretty game. It's a very fun game to play. It's just very hard. All of the animals also have different health meters than you do. So, like, some of them will take 5 hits. Generally, you take 3 hits. And the game is nice enough to put health recovery packs everywhere.
Yeah, they are super generous with the health items and the 1-ups and everything. Which is where it's like, okay, so this was meant for children. It's still insanely difficult.
Yeah, the game is hard, but it's not necessarily unfair. It doesn't feel like the developers are being mean to you specifically. And then you get to the 8th level, where the gameplay changes, and this rod that your character sprite has had on his back the entire time becomes usable.
Whole time, I'm like, why am I not beating people with this rod that I have? This is important, right? Like, they didn't just forget about the scepter or whatever that I have, did they? Because it totally feels like they were just like, eh.
But now you can power up attacks and shoot.
Yeah.
Although the game does, even in the 8th world, require you to take animal form a lot, and it's like, well, now I don't have an attack ability again.
Yeah,
Dang it.
It's weird that they're like, oh, now that you're almost at the end, here's this cool power that is going to be kind of inconvenient.
I also don't understand why the last level is just one level, because it's got 3 bosses. It is very clearly 3 different levels, but they treat it as if it's one.
You know, they were like, kids don't know how to count. It's fine.
The first boss is the demonic penguin, right?
Yes. Yes.
And he's got a fairly reliable pattern. He's fairly easy to beat. The end boss is the Nightmare King. He has a fairly reliable pattern. He's fairly easy to beat. It's that middle boss that is some kind of flying manta ray who has no discernible pattern and is very hard to beat.
Yeah, the charging up of the rod and everything, like, it doesn't act as a honing missile or anything. You just hope that you charge it at the right time and you hit somebody.
Yeah. You can switch back and forth between the rod and the candy at that point. Having the rod changes the entire feeling of the game. It is essentially a second game.
Yeah, it's a very odd choice, again, to have it like, okay, we're at the end, here's your weapon, and it's like, I don't know, I've made it all this way without using this. I kind of don't want to use it. I'm kind of used to just stealing the souls of animals, like...
Skinning them alive and consuming their essence and becoming them. As long as I don't touch water, becoming.
Yeah, I don't know. At that point, I was kind of like, I can't wait to beat this game. I'm kind of over it. Why did this happen?
I think the bee is probably the best one, though, because it can fly short distances and has a projectile attack.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the other ones have projectile attacks.
I don't think so either.
Because when you're flying around in your house fighting monkeys throwing dishes at you, that projectile attack is perfect.
As one does.
Yeah, each level starts off with you meeting a friend of Nemo's who has advice for him.
They're all terrifying.
What's wrong with Flip the Clown?
I don't want to talk about Flip the Clown. Flip the Clown is the Nightmare King. You can't change my mind. That is not okay.
Well, in the movie, he's a semi-antagonist.
Oh, well. Perfect.
He's an agent of chaos who accidentally helps the bad guys.
See? I knew it. You could see it in his beady little eyes.
And then you meet, like, Ooh La La, and...
What was the werewolf?
I don't remember the werewolf's name.
Werewolf's just like, hey, what's up? If you beat this level, there's another one. Bye. And it just disappears, and you're like, okay, cool. Wow, thanks.
Yeah, their help gets less helpful as it goes on. I've also seen speed runs where people, they figure out how to avoid talking to the characters at the start of the stage because it'll slow down the speed run significantly.
Good, smart. That's the smart move. They are useless. Absolutely useless. Like, the only thing Flip tells you is, like, get the keys and find the door.
Well, if you didn't read the instruction manual, you need that.
Well, some of us don't have an instruction manual to read / a desire to actually use the internet to find it.
I don't think we're going to do a level-by-level breakdown like we have in the past because, first of all, there's 8 levels.
Yeah. They're all vaguely similar, so...
Yeah, I mean, there's the one auto-scrolling level where you're on
Yeah.
a train. There's a level in Nemo's house. Then later there's a level in Nemo's house upside down.
Yeah.
There's an underwater level.
I think, unlike the other games, there's nothing special that really happens outside of the auto-scrolling one, which just mixes it up, and it was fun. But, like, the other ones are like, this one's a maze, and this one is
But
really
not
special.
a forest maze.
Yes, no forest mazes. But, yeah, this is pretty straightforward, where it's like, you just go through, try not to die, and get keys for every level except for the end, which we have.
Yeah, the game is fairly straightforward, which is why we're running out of steam on things to talk about it on, which is fine. It's a fun game. It's a good game. It is a hard game.
Yeah. I would strongly encourage it if you're using save states.
I don't know if I could have beaten this as a kid. Like, if I owned it and played it repeatedly, maybe. I mean, I'm able to do the first stage now with no problems. But the dandelion fluff, man. And that comes back later in, like, the 7th level. I'm like, no, I thought I was done with you.
Skull dandelion fluff. And there's, like, skeleton bees or something. Just so many skeletons. Skeleton spiders. I don't know. They're awful.
Rachel's having some flashbacks now.
I am. I'm proud to say that I beat this game. I really wanted to give up quite a few times. Not as much as Mickey Mouse Capades or whatever. That second level. Oh my gosh. But this was challenging, but like in a rewarding way, not challenging for the sake of being hard.
Mean, yeah. All right, so that's it for Little Nemo Dream Master. I think.
Dream Slumbers. What one of those?
Yeah, Slumber King. Sure. It's where I buy my mattresses. So next time we're going to talk about the greatest NES game ever made. The world famous, everybody knows this game. Everybody's heard of it. Everybody's played it.
It's the greatest game.
Star Voyager.
Can't wait.
We'll see you there.